everyone, it's Havoc with HGC Gaming from the HGC YouTube channel. Today is day 14 of the Ark Let's Play series on the island map, and things are going well. This is going to be a good day. I got the resolution back up to 1920 by 1080, so that should be refreshing compared to the last video. I've been in discussions with some of my old military friends. Blazarus, you've heard of him. Justin, you've heard of him. Blaze's girlfriend, Molly. My wife, Brooke. And possibly another person from the Navy. We're all talking about starting a server. In which case, that would be super awesome. There would be a lot more dialogue and entertainment for all the viewers. I'd be really excited about that, and then I won't have to do this hour-long narration after every time I play. So, level 230 male Sabertooth, that's not a bad deal. One thing to note about the Sabertooths is that they don't lay eggs, so it doesn't really matter what gender you get. Not that I know of, anyway. Yeah, so if we did do a server, we'd probably play it. We would definitely play a different map, because I would like to continue this solo file and have this going on the side. I think it'd be lame if, we did a new server and, I did the island map again. So try to cover a little bit more ground, switching up the maps. Okay, so we're up in the northwest corner of the map in the snow biome area, and this is where you get oil, or one of the places you can get oil. You can also get oil underneath the water. You can get oil from dung beetles, but not that much. You can get oil from trilobites, but that's not very efficient. So I like to come here to the northwest corner and hit up all the oil nodes and just stock up and bring them back to base. Also, while I'm up here, I'm looking for Sabertooth to tame. I'm not positive if I'm going to tame this one yet or not. I'm hoping to find, hopefully, some higher level ones. So we'll see if we tame this guy or not. So I've already got almost 500 oil, which is a fair amount. But I'd like to get more. And I'd also like to get more silica pearls while I'm here. I don't know what I'm doing, to be honest. I think I was just trying to get it out of there because it was annoying me. Okay, so you see all these rocks. These are all the oil nodes. Again, you want to be careful and make sure that from up top, sure, it's a steep cliff face, but dinos will come down and attack you if you're not careful. It could be completely random. They'll just drop down and they'll see you and then charge you. You saw that in the last video. It was super dark out and the Sabertooth came down. And I had to bail by jumping into the black abyss of the ocean. Godforsaken terribleness. I almost about died there, or I could have very easily died there anyway. Reaction speed and 27 years of hardcore gaming got me out of that situation. Maybe that's exaggerating a little bit. Yeah, I'm really hoping I can get everybody on board. I know Justin's going to be on board for playing. I don't know about Blaze because he's doing Monster Hunter PS4 streaming on Twitch. And if Blaze doesn't do it, I don't think Molly will. And then Brooke won't do it unless I get a decent-sized crew together. So it's going to kind of fall on Blaze's shoulders, I think, if this is going to happen or not. So we'll see. If not, me and Lan can just do a server. Oh, and my brother John. How could I have been forgetting? So, yeah, and my brother John. So that's a pretty big crew. Okay, yeah, you just see that? Fell down the cliff. And then another one fell down. Just, yep, right there. Yeah, so I was kind of actually using the glitch to see through the oil node to watch while I was chopping. And good thing I was watching, because that could have been a mess. Since I was a pretty far ahead with the videos and the recordings, because it takes so long to update onto YouTube. So it's been a little while since I've actually done one of these narration videos, and it's been like 2 days, maybe 3 days, and it kind of feels weird again. Like I was kind of starting to get in the flow a little bit, but then with that break, I'm kind of reverting back to that not so certain type of mentality. Because there's always kind of a fear when you're doing something like this that you'll get like 45, 50 minutes in, and then you have this one weird spot where you can't think of anything to say, or you say something you probably shouldn't, you know, whatever that might be. I mean, especially if you're playing with friends, because sometimes joking can get out of hand sometimes. So once we get the server Arc series up and running, we'll have to do a briefing before each session to remind each other not to get too carried away. Bunch of Navy boys talking shit. That's one thing I really miss about the Navy, actually, is the camaraderie. I'll never find that type of camaraderie again. You know, you go through so many, like, super shitty times, and you're there for each other, and you go through so many good times, and you're there together, and you go through this roller coaster in your time in the military, but one of the few things that's consistent are those bonds that you have with the people that you work with. And what was really cool was in the Tron shop where I worked, and in a lot of the other shops too, like everybody was kind of the same age. You know, kind of like between 20 and 30 years old. So, and yeah, you know, the majority of, you know, the military is male. But, you know, we did have plenty of sisters. I would come up with nicknames for the girls I'd work with. One I called Mama. She was about my age. She was like 27, 28. And just this really awesome black lady. And she kind of had that, I don't know how to phrase it. Kind of like that black mama thing going on. So I nicknamed her Mama, and all the chiefs would call, the name caught on, and chiefs and officers just started calling her Mama. It was very endearing. Yeah, and we all have nicknames. Yeah, so if you were to ask me what thing I miss most about the Navy, that would be it. The camaraderie. The majority of my good friends are still from the military. You know, like now that I'm back in my hometown, like I don't really know that many people anymore. So yeah, so just grinding that oil. Yeah, the title of this video is Alpha Killer and Sabertooth. I'll be killing 3 alpha dinos a little bit later in this video. I think one was an alpha carnosaur, and then there were 2 alpha raptors, and we'll get to that. And as Tom Cruise from Top Gun would say, I saw an opportunity, and I took it. Yeah, if you see alphas, and you know that you can kill them, yeah, you might as well kill them. Especially if you're kind of lower level, like where I'm at. Because killing an alpha will give you a shitload of EXP. And the dinosaur that you're on. Like, I use my Pteranodon. So, the Pteranodon levels up a bunch, I level up a bunch. You get a really good chance of getting an awesome item. A loot drop from killing an alpha. So, and in that case, where there were 3 of them, it would have been wise of me to probably fly out here and get that dossier treasure box thing that gives you an EXP boost. I should have gotten that before I killed the alphas, but I was being lazy. And I was worried about getting the alphas, all 3 of them killed by the end of the day. So there's a little bit of a time crunch, but I don't know, I'm happy with it. I'm not going to complain. One thing about the direwolves is that you don't need a saddle to ride them. You can just knock them out, tame them, and hop right on them. You don't have to worry about a saddle at all. Which is nice, but also sucks because saddles offer your tame dino a lot of defense. It acts like a suit of armor for them. And with that in mind, that's one of the reasons I like the upgrade station so much. I can build a Sabertooth saddle and essentially upgrade it from being a standard saddle that you just built to a top tier saddle and an ascendant saddle, the light blue color. It will take a lot of materials, but still, like, so hopefully I'll find like a Mastercraft or a Ramshackle at least that I can upgrade from there. But so what the logical progression would be if I couldn't find a saddle for a Sabertooth and I wanted one, I'd build a Sabertooth saddle, I'd put it in the upgrade station, I'd put a ton of materials in it, the materials, enough materials required to level it up, and I would dump a lot of materials into it to get it to that ascendant level, and then I would turn it into a blueprint, and then, you know, put the blueprint into the smithy, and you can make as many as you want from there. So, super cool. When you pick up silica pearls, you have to do it with your bare hands. You can't have your hatchet or pickaxe or anything like that out. You can have a torch, you know, in one hand, but yeah, so typically, all I have on right now, as far as fur armor goes, if I remember correctly, is fur boots and a fur hat. And typically, you'd be freezing in the snow biome if that's all you had. But since I dumped points into fortitude, I can actually survive out here and just be in snowflake mode. And then, you know, when you get submerged in water, it goes into ice cube hypothermia, but I don't plan on being in the water too long. And if you're going to come out here for an extended amount of time, make sure you bring plenty of food with you. I didn't bring that much food with me, which was a small mistake. But I'll just keep my eye on it, make sure I don't start starving to death. I may have mentioned it before, but when you're cold, you go through food much quicker. And then if you're hot, you go through water much quicker, obviously. So there is crystal, as you can see. There was that one huge block. And, you know, I'll grab some, but the primary goal here is to get oil. You can get crystal from the mountaintops closer to Sanctuary Island, so I think it's more worth the trips to get oil. you know, from here back to the boat and then come back out and back to the boat. I don't want to load down too much with crystal. At least not every time. The main purpose is to get oil here. So these are semi-large crystal nodes. So I'll get these, but I'm not going to go run around and look for every small crystal patch there is all along here. And you can pull your raft up. You can pull your raft up, you know, throughout here. But again, I've seen way too many lead stick thieves before. You know, the raft destroyers. I've seen them too frequently in this area. So I just kind of feel like it'd be too risky to bring the raft out here. It doesn't look like there's much of shallow coastline. So, I mean, it's possible if a raft destroyer comes at you, you won't be able to actually get to somewhere safe. So... easy pickings. Ember is so the room that I'm recording in right now, this used to be a spare bedroom, and we had like a bed and a dresser and everything. And Brooke and I, we don't have guests really come over at all. So, and I wanted my own room to be able to do this in private. So what we did is we disassembled the bed and the mattress. It's a queen size mattress and it's standing up vertically right back there. And Ember climbs up it, and she's up on top of it, like way up by the ceiling, laying out, sleeping. She's curled up, kind of watching me from her perch. Yeah, so interesting story, and obviously I'm not going to get into it, but got my first lawsuit filed against me today in real estate, and you know, I can't mention names or anything like that, and so that's interesting. And then my father actually has a lawsuit going on too, so both my father and I went to go speak to an attorney together, each with our own individual cases. So I thought that was a nice father-son bonding moment. Real estate lawsuits. Maybe I'm naive, but I think he'll win his case, and I think I'll win my case. I don't see why I wouldn't, or why he wouldn't. People in real estate are very emotional, and not emotional in a good way a lot of times. They get emotional with greed. And, you know, it's natural. It's a natural response. I think some people have a better handle on it than others. But I've dealt with a lot of people who feel entitled to other people's money, I guess might be a good way to put it. They think that their house is worth way more than it is, and you could show them all the evidence in the world that's not worth that much, and then they call you an a-hole and that you're full of shit, and they try to sue you, and there's no basis for it. That's not what my lawsuit or my father's lawsuit is about, but or maybe it is. But I'm trying to be really careful. It's just something I thought would be an interesting note. Okay, so we've got our first T-Rex there, which usually I feel like I see them a lot more frequently. So I'm surprised it took this long for them to pop up. Yeah, I have no problem with T-Rexes. Allosaurus freaked me out a little bit, though. That Sabertooth just wants to get tamed. It's like I've given him every opportunity in the world to leave. So I'm just gonna trank it out. And tame it. Not bad. Level 230. I don't remember the exact level it comes out to be, but I would imagine around 300. Which is equitable to the max wild dino cap anyway, so not great, but definitely better than average. And well, like I was mentioning earlier with the saddle, that's like extra armor on it, so yeah. And now it wants to get shot in the head. I'm trying to get a body shot at it, or a leg shot. Sabertooths are one of those dinos that if you do too much damage to them, I mean, you gotta be really careful when you're knocking them out, because they don't have a ton of health, and you'll end up killing them pretty easily. And that one headshot that you accidentally got on them might be that one wrong move where now the Sabertooth's just garbage. I think it is possible to wait a super long time for them to regenerate health. I'm not positive if that's how it works or not. But ideally, you just do it right the first time. So I'm going to wait several seconds in between each shot. Let the narcotics do its trick. The trank arrows. And I shouldn't be too far off from getting the long neck rifle, so that'll be a nice change, a nice upgrade using the trank darts. They do so much less damage, and they are a lot more capable of tranking. The trank to damage ratio is a lot better. I don't want to sound like I'm a cynical old man, but I don't really like it. Like in the movies or even in this game. Maybe it makes more sense in this game, I don't know. But I highly doubt that T-Rexes roared. And in fact, I was watching something about dinosaurs just recently saying that T-Rexes won't roar. There was no reason for them to. Just a thing created by Hollywood. Michael Crichton, Jurassic Park. The T-Rex saves everybody and then like it's supposed to be cool or something. Leave that shit for the kids. I like my shit to be as real as possible. Yeah, so that's what happens when you accidentally barrel roll into the water and touch it. So, just a minor nuisance, but a nuisance nonetheless. I know what's about happened again right there. Yeah, I wasn't too worried about the Argent. It's got plenty of health. I'm not even going to check it. I know it's okay. And then obviously you can see if it's getting bloody or not. It didn't look like it was even starting to get bloody, so. It's kind of weird. They kind of get on these notable patterns. Like, you can kind of anticipate when you'll have a good shot. Because it will kind of run around in the same pattern circle a lot of times. So. Yeah. So you might just want to wait until you kind of get a good feel for the pattern before you start shooting, because you don't want it to turn right before you shoot and then you end up shooting it in the head. Or you could play it super safe and use the bola every time. And make sure that's bola'd every time you shoot. That's if you want to be super careful. I don't mind being a little bit reckless. I think it adds some intrigue. You know, I can't believe I forgot. And I don't know if any of you have noticed it, but I forgot my vaporizer. I'm going to go grab that real quick. There we go. You know what time it is? It's about time to check and make sure everything's actually recording. Which it is, because I'm responsible. Yeah, I've kind of been reckless this file. It'd be nice to have that reusable parachute. And I keep the reusable parachute in the 0 slot, especially when I'm flying around a lot. It only takes that one time to accidentally hit E when you're flying above an Alpha Raptor, or you're super high up and you fall to your death. That can happen real quick. And then I haven't built a gravestone yet either. So when I have one more recording after this that I have left to narrate, and I want to do that before I start playing again, because I don't want to get too far ahead of my recordings, otherwise I forget, you know, what I did that day, and then I have to go and watch the whole thing just to update what I did that day before I can even narrate it. So, because I could easily play this game for 5 hours straight, but then I have to think, oh man, now I gotta do 5 hours of narrating and editing. The editing doesn't take too long, and then 5 videos worth of uploading, which probably would average out to be like 40 hours, 45 hours of uploading. So I'm trying just to keep one video ahead. You know, so after I narrate this next video, I'll play 2 hours, and then I won't play again until I narrate those 2 videos. Yeah, so I'm getting worried about the Sabertooth. Like, I'm trying to give it some time to heal in between shots. And what I could do if I wanted, but I'd rather just feel it out for this situation, is build the ultimate spyglass. It doesn't cost that many extra engram points. It doesn't cost that many materials to make, and it shows you what their health is at and how close they are to being knocked out. So if it were getting really close and I started to get really nervous, I'd run inside and just make one real quick. Land actually complimented me today, or Justin. We used to call him Lando Calrissian in the Navy, so I just kind of shorten it up to Land sometimes. But whenever I say Land, I'm talking about Justin. He actually gave me a very nice compliment today. He commended me on my ability to talk for a full straight hour. And you know what? It isn't that easy. Because I'm not the type of person, I'm not by any means an extrovert. You know, like, I would 1,000 times rather stay home and watch a movie than even go out to the theater. I would rather stay home and play video games than go out to a if I want to go shoot firearms, I would rather go up to the county forest and set up my own targets than go to the shooting range. So, I mean, I think you get the idea. So I'm not really much of a talker, but I was kind of explaining to him, and I never thought I really had the ability to talk at length, especially not to a camera. But what happens is, and after he commended me, I kind of analyzed how I'm able to do it. And it is a switch in mentality from, you know, just kind of going about your day, doing your own thing, to, okay, I'm going to talk about things. So there's a mentality flip. And it doesn't happen, like, it takes a little bit to work in. But it all starts with the intro. Like, in the beginning of every video, I introduce, you know, HGC, I'm Havoc, it's day 14, and today we're doing this. So, with all those topics, there's different branches of topics that I can talk about just off of that, you know, those couple of sentences. And if I can't think of anything to talk about from the introduction, which usually I can because of the foreshadowing, snow biome, what kind of dinosaurs can you find here, what kind of resources can you find here, what do you have to watch out for, how does the cold affect you, why am I not dying when I only have fur boots and a fur helmet, it's because I dump points into fortitude. So, I mean, there's so many things that branch off, and then, like, if I get stuck, I can just look at what I'm doing in the game, and I can talk about what I'm doing, what type of dinosaur I'm looking at or working with. I could talk about mechanics of the game. I could bring up a story, because I have a ton of ARC stories, so if I'm doing something relatable to something that I've done before that I think you might find interesting, to talk about that. So really it just kind of oozes out. And usually I like to think about things before I say them, which is one of the reasons why I actually really like to write, is because I can put all my thoughts out on paper in the order that I want them. When you speak, you're not afforded that luxury. It's very quick from thought to output. So it's very easy to sound stupid or look stupid, I guess. But yeah, I just thought that was an interesting observation. I'm actually watching to see what happened with that preserving bin. The preserving bin that I had my vegetables in. Later on, I knock out a Doedicarus and I go to feed it, and my preserving bin is gone. So, and I don't know why that happened, or where it happened, or what happened. So I'm keeping an eye out to see. At one point, my ship gets attacked by a Sarco, so maybe that reached through. In another point, a Sabertooth kind of got pushed through the wall and was inside there. Maybe it was attacking the preserving bin and destroyed it, so I don't know. We'll find out. Kind of shopping around, trying to find a Doedicarus. They're kind of hard to spot, so my Pteranodon's becoming pretty OP. And I got this Pteranodon at what level? It wasn't very high. It wasn't a very high level, maybe 210, something like that. Okay, so there was Doedicarus. I don't know if you saw that. Here is the Alpha Carnosaur and Alpha Raptor. And I'm not going to let this opportunity get away. You should be able to get the majority of your hits on the alphas without taking damage. You are able to take some damage, but you don't want to get stuck. Like, you don't want to fly in between a rock and a boulder and get stuck under there or something and not be able to move. You get cornered in there, because that can happen. Yeah, just try to, like, barrel roll past them. Preferably just kind of, like, skim right above them. Oh. I actually have a golden retriever named Blue, so... And I don't do it because of Jurassic Park, because our family has had... I think my Blue is the 4th generation of Blue. Golden retriever. So I didn't get it from Jurassic World, but I named my raptor Blue. It'd probably make more sense for the direwolf, but I don't tame direwolves. I think not having the ability to equip a saddle is detrimental to the endurance of the wolf in a serious fight. Yeah, if I had to choose between a Sabertooth and a raptor for cave dwellers, it's a tough one. I like a lot of things about the Sabertooth over the raptor. I kind of like how they ride. I like how they can carry a little bit more weight. I think they might even do a little bit more damage, but their jump sucks. The Sabertooth's jump is not good, and I would highly advise ever taking a Sabertooth into the lava cave. I have lost on two different occasions my very best Sabertooth in there, trying to make a jump like an idiot, when a raptor could have much more easily made the jump. Raptors are much nicer to jump with than Sabertooths. So I would actually have to say I'd go with a raptor over a Sabertooth for cave crawling. But it's personal preference. If you can kind of adapt and get used to the way the Sabertooth works, I'm sure, you could be just as effective. For my style, though, I prefer the raptor. I'm actually kind of afraid I'm getting carpal tunnel. I don't know if anyone has ever had this, maybe you can put in the comments below. But like, right throughout here really hurts a lot of the time. And when I roll my wrist, I can actually crack it. And it happens all throughout the day. I'll kind of feel a pressure build up, and then I'll just kind of like roll my wrist and crack it. And sometimes it's, the actual wrist part that cracks. And then other times it's like the whole forearm that cracks. And right now it's just particularly sore. And not in a good way. Like, a lot of times I actually prefer being sore because then it feels good to like rub. But this is actually just too much. It hurts too much, like, without massaging it, so I think there's something going on there. I should probably look into preventing carpal tunnel progression, if that is in fact what's going on. Yeah, so by the end of today, we'll have 14 hours in the game, and all you've gotten to see so far is pretty much the coastline around the whole map. We haven't gotten into the map really at all yet. We've flown across some parts of it, but other than that, there's still a lot of the map left to explore. And I'm actually going to kind of look around for different building spots I might do a tour of the island on one of the days in the future here, and just kind of show you what I know about the map. You know where the beaver dam locations are. You know where the dam nodes respawn at. The different regions for different dinos, where I like to get the dinos that I get. You know where I like to get the T-Rex. I can already tell you that. I like to get them on Hell Island. I think that's the easiest place to get them. The Doedicarus, you know, up here in the northwest. So, yeah. Yeah, Blaze recommended that I turn up the gamma at night, which I am gonna do, but I had these gameplay sessions already recorded, so if I were to do what I am going to do back then that I'm going to do in the future, this would have been gamma up, so you can see better at night. Now, typically, if I weren't recording and I were just, you know, playing this game just to play the game by myself, without recording it or sharing it on YouTube, I won't mess with the gamma at all. But I think it's important that the viewer can kind of see what's going on. I'm not gonna lie, it'll probably increase my level of survivability. Visibility is kind of important in this game. Yeah, alphas are kind of nice because you can easily spot them at night in the dark. They got that red glowing cloud around them, so not a problem. Yeah, you can kind of see it's getting pretty bloody. She's gonna be going down here pretty soon. There it is, Mastercraft Simple Pistol. Got a couple other things that look pretty good. Boy, it'd be nice to have a industrial grill in my boat so I could really get most of that raw prime meat cooked up. Kind of a waste, but it's not really like there's a limit to alphas. They'll always respawn. So I gained 6 levels off that alpha Carno kill. Talk about how to level quickly. I haven't been very creative with my names at all in this game, because since I know that I'm recording it, like I don't want to sit there and think about, you know, what am I going to name it. I like to be more about the action than the naming. I think once I get enough dinos, particularly ones that are kind of end game and that I'll be using a lot, I'll make, you know, I'll have that in my video where I go and name all of them and get it all over with in one shot. And that way I can think beforehand while I name them. That way when I'm recording, you don't have to sit there and watch me think about it. So, nothing too terribly great from that alpha kill. I always hope for especially in this era of the game, I like to look for the Mastercraft and Ascendant tools. Like pickaxe would have been nice, or a hatchet would have been nice. I do have that Ascendant blueprint for the pickaxe though, and once I get back to Sanctuary Island, I'm going to get a bunch of metal and get that made. Looking back, I wish I would have done that before I came there, but no harm, no foul. I would have just been able to get the oil a bit faster. Yeah, alpha raptors are freaking fast. Yeah, so I'm about a third of my health depleted. Just taking hits here and there. Yeah, if you time it out right, you can barrel roll the raptor and then keep flying straight, because you think you're going fast on the Pteranodon, but the alpha raptor is actually not too far behind you. But then you slow down, turn around and hit C, and the raptor will run into the side of you, and your barrel roll will knock it back. And it won't have time to hit you, and you fly off in a straight line again until you're ready to do another barrel roll, slow down, turn around, do the barrel roll. Just do that a couple times. Usually I'm a lot better at it than this. My excuse is that it's dark out and I can't see. Choose to believe that, or not. It's up to you. It's mostly true. PolitiFact said so. Yeah, so think about if I would have had that dossier box and then I came here and got these kills, how many more levels I would have gotten. Probably quite a few more. It would have been worth it. So I only got one level from that. So, and I don't know if you noticed, but I had the two crossbows that I've gotten now from drops. They were both Mastercraft, but one was at like 230% damage and the other one was at more at like at 190% damage. So there can be a pretty big difference in quality in the same quality tier. So you can have two pieces of Ascendant gear, same exact item, but one would be a lot better than the other. So, something to look out for. Yeah, so of course the Raptor's picking on the Doedicarus. And, yeah, you know, I wasn't too happy with my Doedicarus choices, but I didn't want to spend too much extra time here. Like, I kind of want to get back to Sanctuary Island. So I will be taming a Doedicarus fairly quickly. It would have been nice to kind of wait around for a better option, but the one I end up getting is level 40, and that's really a low level. That's less than 1/6 of the potential, but you'll see. The Doedicarus is so much better at getting rock out of boulders that even a level 40 will be a huge improvement. And I actually kind of struggled with it, because most of the time the Doedicaruses that I get end up on that peninsula there, and I'll just kill all the predators on that peninsula, except, you know, leave the Doedicarus, and then just go up and punch the Doedicarus, get its attention, and then kite it into the taming pen. So if that's something that you can do when you come up here and you're looking to get a bunch of oil, and you're keeping an eye out and you see a high-level Doedicarus on that peninsula, yeah, just kill all the predators and get it in your taming pen. That's the ideal way to do it. I kind of have, in the near future, when I do it, I have a little bit of issues, and you'll get to witness those. So since we're on this little island here, I'm trying to be really careful not to end up in the water with that alpha raptor on my heels. I'd be dead so fast. And what's my suggestion for when that happens, or if it happens? Make sure to hit the dash key and set your bird on a neutral so at least you have a chance of rescuing it. So let's play that scenario out real quick. Let's say I barrel rolled into that Alpha Raptor, went through it, hit the water, jumped off my Pteranodon, and the Raptor's already coming at me. Like, there's no time for me to get back onto Pteranodon. I would hit that dash key and set it onto neutral. I would end up dying. I'd respawn on the boat, hop on my Argentavis, fly back over here, and then whistle for the Pteranodon to go passive, which is the semicolon key. And then I would hit T. I'd look at the Pteranodon and hit T. You can also hit J. You want to be careful when you hit J, though, because that summons all of your dinos. That whistles for all the dinos in a pretty wide area around you. If you can, just look at the specific dino and hit T, and it will just single out that one. To get dinos to stop following you, it's U as in uniform, the U key. Yeah. So this has been a really good run. Got a bunch of cementing paste, got a bunch of levels, got a bunch of oil. Yeah, so this has actually been a really good day. Nine levels. Wow. Not too shabby. When you get that many points, it's kind of easy to spend them willy-nilly. It's like, oh, I got 9 points. I'll put 3 here and 3 there and 3 there, and then you're out. Theriznosaur saddle. I'm definitely going to get that eventually. Don't need it yet, so I'm going to save the points. Just kind of looking for things I could use more imminently. $1,135 engram points. I like to get all squared away as much as possible. Get ready for the next day. Fresh start. Get the inventory cleaned up, all the chests organized. The preserving bin is still there, so it hasn't disappeared yet or gotten destroyed yet. 3 points available for the Pteranodon. Campfires are so lame. I'm trying to quick prime meat. It's almost futile. It's a bummer I lost all those vegetables. Once I get the greenhouse structures, that'll be nothing. Alright everybody, day 14's done. See you next time.